Stepmother told me to stop visiting my father in the hospital because she feared I would learn something she hid for years, and I had to figure out whether to push for answers or respect boundaries when his condition suddenly got worse. I'm 30, living in a small town in Pennsylvania. Not much going on here except for the hospital that my dad's been stuck in for the last week. My dad, Martin, he's 60 now, stubborn as a mule, and he's never liked anyone meddling in his business, not even me. My stepmother, Lorna, she's 55, sweet on the surface, but I've always felt there's something she doesn't tell anyone. I guess it started a few years back, after my mom passed when I was 18, and my dad remarried. Lorna moved in slowly, like she didn't want to rock the boat, but over time it became clear she wanted control of everything. And now, sitting in the waiting room, staring at the sterile white walls, I get a text from her. Maybe you should stay home today. You wouldn't want to learn things that are better left alone. I stare at it for a long time, feeling my stomach twist. I mean, what does that even mean? Better left alone? With my dad's condition getting worse by the hour, that text feels like a dare. I can't just ignore it. But at the same time, I've always respected boundaries. Well, at least tried to. But something in me is itching to push. I remember the last time I visited him, 3 days ago. He was lucid for a moment, and he muttered something about old family secrets. And Lorna shut him down immediately, telling me he was tired and needed rest. I replay it over and over in my head, trying to figure out what he meant. That's when I noticed the nurse walking by, glancing at the room. He's stable for now, but any sudden changes. She doesn't finish, just leaves it hanging. And I realize this could be the last time I see him awake. I pull out my keys, my coat, and step toward the elevator, my phone buzzing again. Another message from Lorna, this one sharper. I really think you should stay out of this. Some truths are not yours to uncover. My hands clench around the phone, knuckles white. I want to reply, I want to argue, but something in me pauses. I think about the years I've spent trying to make sense of my family, trying to figure out why Lorna seems to always have a quiet, controlling grip on everything. I can't shake the feeling that she's been hiding something for years, something my dad never wanted me to know. And now, with him lying there, maybe fading fast, I feel a mix of anger and fear. I step into the elevator, feel the cold metal buttons under my fingertips, and my mind races. Do I respect her warning? Do I respect her boundaries? Or do I push in, risking everything, just to see what my dad might finally tell me if he can't hold it back any longer? I think about my childhood, about how my dad used to hide letters in his desk, about how Lorna always asked me to ignore them, about the small things I noticed but never understood. I walk through the hallway, past the other patients, the antiseptic smell filling my nose, and I catch a glimpse of the room at the end, the door slightly ajar. I pause, take a deep breath, and push it open. And there he is, my dad, hooked to machines, eyes half closed, fragile in ways I hadn't imagined. Lorna sits beside him, reading something on a clipboard, glancing at me with that same faint smile that never reaches her eyes. She doesn't say a word, but I know she's expecting me to turn around, to respect her invisible line. I don't. I step closer, my heart hammering, and suddenly I feel that old tension, the unspoken weight of years, of hidden truths. And just as I'm about to ask my first question, the monitor next to his bed starts beeping, fast, urgent. The nurse rushes in, and I freeze, torn between helping and watching. My dad's eyes flicker open barely, but enough for me to catch that look, the look that says he wants to tell me something, but he's too weak, too scared, and maybe too late. And in that moment, I know I'm standing at a crossroads. Do I let Lorna's warning stop me, or do I step into the truth, no matter what it costs? It hits me that whatever she's been hiding for years, it's tied to him, to my family, to everything I thought I knew. And I realize that this decision, this one choice I make right now, might be the last chance I ever get to hear it from him. I swallow hard, my throat dry, my hands trembling slightly. I want to back off, I want to stay safe in the corner, let Lorna control the story. But something deep in me, something that's always been stubborn, refuses. I lean closer to my dad, whispering his name, and he shifts his head slightly, a weak smile, as if he knows I've chosen to push forward, to finally ask. And then, without warning, the machine beeps louder, the nurse calling for help, and chaos erupts around me. I'm caught between panic and determination, but through it all, I know one thing: whatever he tells me, whatever I uncover, it will change everything. And even though I can feel Lorna's eyes on me, judging, warning, I can't turn back now. I step closer, and I feel the weight of the years, of secrets kept, of a family divided. And somewhere deep down, I know that no matter what happens, this is the moment I've been waiting for my whole life. The room finally quiets down after the nurse and a couple of other staff manage to stabilize my dad, Martin. His chest rises and falls unevenly, and I take a seat in the chair next to him, my hands gripping the armrests so tightly I'm afraid they'll leave dents. Lorna sits across the bed, clipboard forgotten, eyes flicking between my dad and me like a hawk. I can feel her tension, and it's not just because of his condition, it's the tension of someone guarding something fiercely. I glance at my dad, his skin pale, veins standing out like a map of every hardship he's ever endured, and I wonder what he's been keeping from me. "Dad, can you tell me what you were talking about the other day?" My voice is softer than I expect, hesitant, almost afraid. He blinks slowly, groans slightly, and then mutters something almost inaudible. "Not now, Lorna." His eyes flicker toward her, and I see it, the way he clenches his jaw, like he's weighing his words against some unseen barrier. Lorna shifts, her foot tapping nervously against the floor, and finally, in that calm but sharp tone says, "He's tired, really. Let's not push him." I can feel my blood pressure spike, this familiar mix of fear, frustration, and something that borders on anger. I know her. She's trying to protect me from something, or maybe herself, and it pisses me off. I lean a little closer, resting my hand lightly on his arm, and whisper, "Dad, whatever it is, I need to know. Please." He closes his eyes, swallows hard, and I swear I see a flicker of guilt, or maybe relief, pass over his face. That tiny, fragile motion tells me he's been holding something in for years, something big, and that now, with him so vulnerable, the secret is dangling on the edge of revelation. Lorna notices, I can see it, and her lips press into a thin line, that quiet warning again, but I don't care. Not now. I remember last week, when I found that old envelope tucked in the top drawer of his bedside table, a letter, and signed, aged, with my mom's handwriting. I hadn't opened it. I wasn't supposed to. I hesitated for days, wondering if it would tear the family apart, or worse, if it would ruin the memory of her. Now though, that letter feels like the key. Maybe it's connected. I take a deep breath, trying to steady myself, but my mind races through the possibilities. What could Lorna have been hiding for years? What truth is so fragile, so dangerous, that she would stop me from visiting my own father just to keep it from coming out? I glance back at him, and even in his frailty, he looks determined. Like he's asking me silently to go after it. And I feel it, the pull, the responsibility, the moral weight pressing down on me. My dad's health is fragile. Every breath seems like it could be his last. And yet, this secret looms larger than ever. I can't let it go. I can't respect the invisible line Lorna keeps drawing anymore. I remember my teenage years, watching my dad struggle silently with my mom's death, and all the things he never said out loud. And now I realize how little I really knew about him, about her, about the life they shared before I arrived. The thought makes me ache. I glance at Lorna, and I see the conflict in her eyes. She knows I'm going to push, and maybe she's scared of what that might mean. But I have to. I can't let fear, hers or mine, stop me from finding the truth. I sit back slightly, trying to calm my racing thoughts, and I finally say, "I'm going to need to see that letter, Dad. Please. I won't let it go. Not now." His hand twitches, his fingers brushing mine, and I feel the faintest squeeze, like he's giving me permission, giving me the green light to push through. Lorna exhales sharply, a small sound, and I know she's weighing her options. But I don't look away. I don't back down. The quiet hum of machines fills the room, a constant reminder that time is running out, that every second might be the last opportunity to get the answers I've waited for years to hear. And in the back of my mind, I know that when I do open that envelope, when I push through barriers Lorna has kept with such scrupulous care, there will be no turning back. I'm ready to take that step. And at that moment, as my dad's shallow breaths fill the room, I realize I am no longer just a son visiting a sick father. I am a man standing at the edge of a truth that has been kept from me for decades. And I know, whether it destroys the fragile equilibrium Lorna has sustained or finally gives my dad peace, that I must see this through. The weight of years bears down on me, but I feel a strange resolve, one that tells me this is just where I was supposed to be, right here, in this room, confronting what I don't know, ready for what's coming next. I let out a deep breath and reach for the drawer where the letter sits, the paper crinkling faintly under my fingers. Lorna's eyes snap to mine, a mix of panic and anger, but I don't hesitate. My hands are shaking, sure, but my mind is laser-focused. I unfold the envelope, the familiar handwriting bringing back a flood of memories. My mother, years gone, her presence still heavy in the house. The letter is old, faded, edges curling, but the words hit me like a punch I didn't see coming. It's addressed to my dad, and it talks about someone else, someone I never knew existed, a brother, older than me by a few years, who apparently was put up for adoption before I was born. My chest tightens, and for a moment I can't breathe. I look up at my dad, who is staring at me with watery eyes, and I know he's been carrying this guilt, this secret, for decades. Lorna's hand hovers near the drawer, but she doesn't touch it. I can feel her tension like a wall pressing against my back, but I ignore it. I whisper, almost to myself, You never told me." My dad nods slightly, lips quivering. I didn't want to hurt you or him," he rasps, voice weak but heavy with decades of suppressed emotion. I sit back, letting the weight of this revelation settle in, and my mind races through a lifetime of assumptions. The brother I never knew, the family I thought I understood, it's all shifted in an instant. Lorna exhales sharply, finally speaking, voice trembling. "I thought I was protecting everyone. This isn't the time. But I can't just sit quietly anymore. My father is sick, fading, and the clock is ticking. Dad, I need to know everything. I can't let this go. Not now." He swallows hard, glances at Lorna, then back at me. "Years ago, before you were born, your mother, she made a choice, and I agreed. I thought it was best for everyone, but I never stopped thinking about him, about what might have been." His voice trails off, tears brimming. I feel my own eyes sting, a mix of anger, grief, and curiosity. How could I have lived all these years thinking I knew my family, only to discover this? And yet, beneath the shock, I feel a strange connection forming, a sense that this revelation is part of me now, whether I'm ready or not. I lean closer, heart pounding, asking the questions I've carried silently for years. "Where is he? Does he know about us? Why didn't you tell me?" Each word trembles, but I need answers. My dad shifts slightly, weak but determined, and begins to recount the story, the difficult decisions, the pain, the secrecy. Every sentence feels like it's pulling back a veil I didn't even know existed. Lorna watches silently, no longer trying to stop me, just standing guard as if bracing for the storm she knew would come. And as I listen, absorbing decades of hidden pain, I realize that this isn't just about a secret brother. It's about the choices we make to protect people, the lies we tell in the name of love, and the consequences those choices leave behind. My hands are trembling, my throat tight, but I stay, hanging on every word, desperate to understand, desperate to reconcile the past with the present. I see my dad's eyes flicker with both relief and fear. Relief that someone finally knows, fear that the truth might tear apart what's left of our family. And in that room, with Lorna's silent presence and my father's fragile confession, I feel the weight of generations pressing down on me, and yet, strangely, a sense of clarity, a path forward, if I'm brave enough to walk it. Whatever comes next, whatever emotion, confrontation, or reconciliation, I am ready to face them because this truth has waited for me my whole life. And even as my father drifts in and out of consciousness, I know that the next steps I take will define my relationship with him, with Lorna, and with the brother I never knew. The knowledge, finally in my hands, feels both a burden and a gift, something I have to protect, something I have to understand, something that will change everything. The next few hours blur together. My dad drifts in and out of sleep, the machines ticking steadily beside him, and I sit there, letter in hand, processing it all. Lorna says nothing now. Her usual edge is gone, replaced by a kind of brittle exhaustion, like she's carrying the weight of my dad's secret right along with him. I keep looking over at her, waiting for the anger, the warnings, to come back, but they don't. Instead, there's a quiet tension, a fragile truce. I finally asked my dad the question I've been holding on to since I read the letter. Where is he now? My brother? His eyes, watery and weak, meet mine, and I can see the years of fear and regret reflected there. He lives in Ohio. He murmurs. I didn't want him to feel abandoned. I wanted him to have a life without knowing the mistakes we made. I swallow hard, my mind racing. All this time, I thought my family was small, that it was just us, but now there's this other life, this other person that is part of me, part of my dad, that I have never known. I feel a strange pull, a mix of longing, guilt, and curiosity. And I realize, for the first time in decades, that I have a choice to make. Do I reach out to him, or do I let the past stay buried? I look back at my dad, and I can see how much it pains him that I even have to consider this. He's always wanted to protect us, to shield us from hurt, but in doing so, he created this chasm between truth and family. Lorna clears her throat, softly this time, and says, You have to decide, but be careful. Some things can't be undone. Her words, though cautious, no longer carry the hostility I've grown used to. I nod slowly, letting them sink in, and finally speak aloud what I've been thinking. I want to meet him. I need to understand, to connect. I can't leave it like this. My dad's lips twitch into a faint, tired smile, and I see relief wash over him. I hoped you'd say that. He whispers. It hits me then, the enormity of trust, of hope, that he's placing in me, even in his weakened state. I feel the weight of responsibility, the burden of bridging decades of silence and secrecy. And yet, beneath it all, there's a sense of purpose, a sense of connection that I've never felt before. I glance at Lorna again, and there's a quiet acknowledgement in her eyes, a surrender, a recognition that the truth, finally, has to come out, no matter how long it took. Over the next hour, we piece together what we can: names, addresses, old photographs, fragments of stories my dad barely remembers, all tangled with emotion and regret. It's messy, it's painful, and it's human. And through it all, I realize that family isn't just about the past, it's about what you do with the knowledge of it, how you carry it forward. By the time the evening falls and the hospital corridors quiet, I feel a strange calm settle over me. The secret has been uncovered, the truth laid bare, and while the emotional work has only just begun, the first step has been taken. I know the road ahead won't be easy, reaching out, reconciling, understanding the consequences, but it's a path I'm ready to walk. I sit beside my father and take his hand, feeling connected to him, to the past, and to the family I never knew for the first time in years. There's grief, yes, and there's anger, but there's also hope, fragile and bright. Lorna, surprisingly, smiles faintly, a soft acknowledgement of the storm that's past and the possibilities ahead. And as I look at my dad, hooked to machines, weak but alive, I realize something fundamental. The truth, however well and for however long it may be hidden, has the power to heal and to bind, to guide. And as I tuck the letter carefully into my pocket, knowing it contains a key to a life I am about to explore, I feel a mixture of awe and resolve.